it's time for the weekly question time. And if you're joining us here for the first time, and if you're watching this on YouTube, then my name's Kam Dovedi. I'm the founder of Premier Property, and I'm an investor and developer. And my aim here is to answer questions which I've got right here from our Premier Property community. And people that are really on it, they're really working towards a success in property and creating that freedom that they deserve. And I'm here to help and assist to answer questions. And if you're watching this and you're watching this on YouTube, then feel free to comment, subscribe, and you can click on that bell icon so that you make sure that you get these Q&As straight into your straight to you on a regular basis. And if you've got any questions, then do feel free to ask as well, and I will do my best to assist you and help you to move forward in your property journey. So, like I say, these are from our Premier Property community, and the first question I want to jump straight to is to Anna. So, Anna Zeta is asking, what is a reasonable premium for a buy-to-let property insurance? So, specific question. Now, it really does depend on where you are. Now, the kind of price points that we pay, you can pay for building insurance, can range all the way from really a few £100s, to be fair. So for buy-to-lets, the properties that we buy for buy-to-lets, the purchase prices are all under £160,000 because that's where your best investment is, that's where your best yield is, that's where buy-to-let works the best. So thinking of it as a business, below £160,000, you will find that your insurance, your property insurance, should be in the region of anywhere between £150 to around £250. You're in that region. So remember, it's building insurance. Doesn't have to be landlord's insurance. So you are literally securing the building, making sure the building is covered. And you do also want to make sure, and a little extra point here for you, that is done at exchange. When you exchange in that property, not completion, because it can make all the difference if unfortunately something goes wrong. So something to keep in mind. So Anna, hope that answers your question there very directly. £150 to £250 to summarize, and we're getting it at exchange, which I know you know. So hope that makes sense. And if you're watching this, feel free to join in. Love to hear that you're here. Smiley face, thumbs up, whatever you want to send it over if you're liking the answers to your questions. So next up, another question we got here is by Ali. Ali is asking, if whole London within the M25 is your subject criteria or goldmine area, how would you approach your leafleting strategy? Okay, so you're quite right, Ali. That's a massive area, right? When you say London, you could even just say that's like a whole country, isn't it? So when we're leafleting, so leafleting strategy, just for clarity, works really well. So where you can get vendors to call you, connect with you, and get you deals directly with the owner, directly with the vendor. So that's what we're talking about. Where you send a leaflet through, someone picks it up and calls you. Now, the way we do this is we really zoom in. So I would suggest that you zoom in and you create sectors of 10 streets at a time. So 10 streets typically, now, it really does depend on how long a street is. Yeah, so, depending on where you are in the M25 or whatever your area is. So how you can do this is, rather than think about the number of streets, you can actually think about the number of leaflets. So what we tend to do is we chunk down on the leaflets to a manageable number. So that is 250. So we will create, sections of 250, 250, 250, and so on, leaflets, and you deliver those leaflets in your area, and you might find that it ends up being around, 10 streets. If you've got small 10 streets in some areas we have, there might be a couple of streets, or it might be a one long parade with commercial shops on there as well. So whatever it is, you chunk it down into 250s. And the aim is to deliver into that area, and that we aim for 10,000 leaflets. So 10,000 leaflets is enough economies of scale, if you like, to actually be getting phone calls. Now, if you deliver less than that, you still got a chance of getting phone calls. But all I'm saying is, when it averages it out, and these numbers are very manageable, these numbers there's a probability, a success of probability, and it works very well on the number of 10,000. So to summarize, you chunk down your leaflets to 250. You then deliver them. So you deliver them in sections of 250, and you can get it up to £10,000 in a month, and then you repeat the process. If you're not able to do that all in one go as 10,000 in 1 month, you can do this as part-time, as you're going along doing your other business, your work or whatever you're doing. You can make that 10,000 happen, over a couple of months, over a few months, and that's okay too. But my point is that you will get results from 10,000, and you will find that these numbers work for you. So Ali, think about your area, think about how you can chunk down to 250 at a time. So you've got a lot of gold mine area there to cover there, but this is what gets you results. And to be fair, you don't need to be sending out leaflets so far in a field. You can find that this works really well in concentrated areas, literally within half a mile's distance maximum, quarter mile to half a mile even. So Ali, that will get you results. Hope this answer helps you. Brilliant. So next up we have another questionnaire. How long can you postpone the completion date after the exchange, and what reasons or tricks can you use? So there are many different reasons that you can use. So I love this strategy, by the way. So this is all about exchange and delayed completion. So we love where you can actually exchange and you can delay that completion. So we've got a couple of projects going on right now where one of them we've actually exchanged and we've delayed that completion to 9 months. However, on that project, we asked for a further 3 months because COVID hit and it was all done before COVID. We said, look, things are a little bit slower. Can we have another 3 months? And the owner agreed to that, because they understand. People are normally reasonable and people do understand what you're doing. So the key here is getting the right seller to be the person who actually can do a deal with you. Once you've got that and they're amicable with you, then you can find that these exchange and delayed completions can work. And the time frame there, like I say, is 9 months, and then we added another 3 months, so that became a year. We've got another one of these going on, which I call the mini mansion strategy, something I'll discuss with you another time for sure. And that is a 9-month delayed completion. So that is factoring in Rishi Sunak's stamp duty increase. So this is marrying up with that timeline. So we're looking at end of March 2021 for that to complete that project, but it's on a delayed completion of 9 months. So that's how you can make that work. Also keep in mind that the 10% deposit paid at exchange doesn't have to be 10%. So many times we've paid that 10%, and sometimes we've actually paid 5%. So on the project that I just discussed with you, the first one, we paid 5% deposit. On the mini mansion strategy, as I'm sharing with you, on the second property, we paid 7.5%. Although initially we had agreed 5%, but the buyer wanted a little bit more, so we said, okay, to secure the deal, we're happy to give you another 2.5% on top of that, so that's 7.5%. So you can exchange with deals with these types of numbers. Now, you're at Premier Property, so we're going to keep it honest. Do be aware, very highly unlikely that happens, but it can happen. If for any reason you couldn't complete that deal, that exchange money, you would lose that money, and it wouldn't be that 5% or 7.5% or whatever it is that you've negotiated. It would actually be a full 10% plus the seller's ongoing charges, fees, etc., etc., etc. So just be aware of that one. However, you're doing it right, you're learning to do it the right way, you're going to get results, and it's a very creative, exciting strategy. Really gives you peace of mind and finds you that time, if that makes sense. Great question. I hope you're liking the answer. If you're liking the answer, I'd love to hear from you. Do feel free, you don't have to be a stranger, feel free to type in your comments if you're enjoying these videos and if you're enjoying these Q&As. And like I say, if you've got any questions yourself, feel free to ask. Okay, so we are moving on to the how many questions have I answered? 1, 2, 3, fourth question, isn't it, right? So fourth question and the final question of today, and this is by Simon Kingsley, another one of our Premier Property Inner Circle members, and the question is, if you're working with an agent from someone, if you're working with an agent for someone, and she wanted to manage an application to a local council for an HMO license. How much would you charge for providing such a service? Because I know you, Simon, you learn how to do this, and you do this well, so you know how to deal with the council and all this kind of thing. So typically, I would say have a look at your local competition. So check out your local competition for a similar service for getting HMO licenses. Now, you and I know that it's all about knowing what to do, and once you know what to do, then it's pretty simple, to be fair, because you understand the process. And a fair fee for someone who doesn't understand the process, who wants the confidence on understanding that what you've got in front of you is really good, and you're that person that can provide the service. A fair fee for something like this would be, in my view, anywhere between £500 to £1,000 to provide that service. Where that could be a turnkey solution for them to get that HMO license. So you got your property business. Part of your property business is getting that HMO license or whatever it is that you do. Why not? Why not provide a good service and get paid for that service? As an additional service, because you're doing it anyway and you're doing it really well. So people will pay you for this. Sounds like a great plan. I like that, Simon. And hopefully you got those numbers there, anywhere between £500 to £1,000. The reason I mention those numbers is because you got to make it tangible for people. People got to understand key, and that is return on investment. People pay you when they find that there's a return on their investment, and that's the one you're going to be really conscious of: adding value, adding value, adding value. Talking about adding value, if you're liking these, feel free to join me. I'm doing this every week at the moment, so feel free to join me on the next one. And subscribe and like, and I will see you on the next video. It's Kam Dovedi, helping you to take your property investing to the next level. I'll see you soon.